Hello and welcome to the channel. President Tinubu has had a week in office as president of Nigeria now. His lifelong ambition. A week is not enough to appraise how anyone has performed in any office, be it as president or any other profession for that matter. But we can still rate or slate, give an opinion on his performances or actions so far, because that's what we do. So how do you think Tinubu has performed as president 1 week into his administration? Let us know in the comments. Subscribe, like, and share. Thank you. Tinubu, 1 week after. Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, Nigeria's president since May 29, 2023, once said that his lifelong ambition was to become the president of Nigeria. He was lucky that his dream came true. Though the outcome of the election remains contested, he has been Nigeria's president the past 1 week. So what are the takeaways from his 1 week in office? 1. There was a bounce from his inauguration. Though Tinubu came into office with a huge legitimacy crisis and is one of the most scandal-ridden African presidents. No fewer than 20 presidents from around the world attended the inauguration according to some media reports. American President Joe Biden sent a delegation, as did the British Prime Minister Rishi Sunak. And these were despite the damning reports of most of the international election observers of the presidential election, in which INEC declared him the winner, and a campaign by the opposition for world leaders not to legitimize Tinubu's victory by congratulating him. 2. The bounce from the inauguration was overshadowed by the unintended consequences of Tinubu's declaration on the day of his inauguration that fuel subsidy is gone. That speech immediately led to panic buying of fuel, the return of queues in petrol stations across the country, and the jumping of pump prices in some filling stations to as much as 700 naira per litre. Though the removal of fuel subsidy was expected, and all the three leading presidential candidates, Tinubu, Atiku Abubakar, and Peter Obi, had promised to remove it if they won the election, few people thought it would be done in such a dramatic manner as Tinubu did it. Those who argue that removing the subsidy on fuel was a decision foisted on Tinubu by the outgoing government forget that he has the powers to reverse it by sending a supplementary budget to the National Assembly with a request that funding the subsidy should remain while he puts together his team and the necessary infrastructure that would help cushion the effects of that policy. The feeling is that by announcing the ending of the fuel subsidy regime the way he did, he wanted to convey a message that he will be a decisive president who will not balk at taking tough decisions. This is especially so if his fuel subsidy is gone statement is related to his pre-inaugural speech where he declared that he would not want anyone to pity him because of the enormity of the challenges bedeviling the nation, because he sought for the job and campaigned for it. 3. The angst across the country resulting from the manner in which the removal of the subsidy was made shows that hardship has no ethnic, religious, or political party affiliation. In fact, the argument that fuel subsidy benefits only or even mostly the rich is motor park economics, as everyone, rich, middle class, the poor, and businesses seems overwhelmed by a sense of foreboding following the 300% hike in the pump price of fuel in this largely generator-dependent economy. Suddenly, the perennial online combat between the ardent supporters of Tinubu and others that are often wrongly lumped together as obedience seem to have abated, as everyone seems to worry how the policy will impact on them once it has cascaded through the entire value chain. If the anticipated hardship from this policy becomes overwhelming and is not attenuated within a reasonable time frame, even some of Tinubu's most passionate supporters will join the camp of those praying for the court to overturn his declaration as the winner of the February 25th, 2023 election. 4. Just a few days after his inauguration, some putative centers of power in the Tinubu government had begun to emerge. One of the president's children, Folashade Tinubu Ojo, the Iyaloja, mother of the market, of Lagos Market, crowned herself the first daughter of Nigeria and also elevated her position from the Iyaloja of Lagos Markets to Iyaloja of Nigeria. She also announced the launching of what she called Friends of Iyaloja initiative, which she said will channel her experience, connections, and human resources towards supporting her father's administration. Similarly, just a few days after his inauguration, there was a viral video of the First Lady, Senator Remi Tinubu, sitting in a purported economic meeting with President Tinubu, Vice President Kashim Shettima, the Central Bank of Nigeria CBN Governor Godwin Emefiele, and the Group Chief Executive Officer of the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, NNPCL, Mele Kyari, at the Presidential Villa, Abuja. While some argued that the First Lady sitting in such a meeting was a violation of protocol, her supporters argued that as head of the Senate Committee on NNPC during Saraki's era as Senate President, she sat at the purported meeting as a politician, not as a First Lady. The point here is that one of the issues used against Tinubu during the campaigns was that different members of his family, Remi, Sheyi, and Folashade in particular, might constitute themselves into independent centers of power if he won the election. 5. In the 1 week of his presidency, Tinubu has also started assembling members of his kitchen cabinet. In his first set of appointments as Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Tinubu named Ambassador Kunle Adeleke as the State Chief of Protocol, SCOP, to the President, former Lagos State Commissioner of Information, Dele Alake as Presidential Spokesman, and Olusegun Dada as Special Advisor, Digital Media. The following day, he appointed Nosa Asemota as his official photographer and Adelani Okpeyemi as the official photographer of Vice President Kashim Shettima. On June 2, 2023, just 5 days after his inauguration, he appointed the outgoing Speaker of the House of Representatives, Femi Gbajabiamila, as his new Chief of Staff, former Deputy Governor of Jigawa State, Senator Ibrahim Adijia as Deputy Chief of Staff, and former Minister of Special Duties, George Akume, as Secretary to the Government of the Federation. Overall, Tinubu started with a fumble, as many newly elected leaders often do. This is because while politicians are said to campaign in poetry, in governance they will be forced to rule in prose. They will not only discover that the devil is in the detail, but will also find out that every policy or even major pronouncement has unintended consequences. That's the news, guys. Thanks for listening. Until next time, bye.